It was a crisp fall morning in Bear Country. Halloween was at night, and it was October 31st, and Brother and Sister Bear were walking around Bear Country looking around. There were Halloween decorations everywhere. Brother and Sister were really excited to go trick-or-treating on later that night. "I can't wait for tonight," Sister said happily. "I can't wait to try on my costume," Brother replied. He and Sister were walking down more on the path, seeing houses that have their decorations on. "It's going to be so much fun to go trick-or-treat," replied Sister. "Oh, and have asked Lizzie to come with us." "Great," exclaimed Brother happily. "Freddie's coming too." "Let's go right after sunset," Sister replied. "You bet," Brother said. "We have got a lot of candy collecting to do." When the cubs stopped and stared at the house that they were down on Crooked Lane. "But there is one place we won't be stopping to trick or treat. Winter Jones' house," Brother and Sister both said at the same time. "I heard that she flies around on a broomstick at night," Brother started. "I heard that she cooks up magic spells in her witch's cauldron," Sister added. "I heard it from Freddie, who heard it from Lenny, who heard it from Fuzzy, that she turns cubs into statues," Brother said to Sister Bear. That made her jump a bit. "Statues?" Sister asked nervously. "Statues," Brother Bear replied, nodding while saying yes. As he and Sister Bear looked, they saw a shadowy figure by one of the windows of the house. When they saw Witter Jones inside, they both turned away, scared all the way back until they could no longer see her house. Later on, after the cubs got home, they got dressed up in their costumes. Sister Bear was a ballerina and Brother was a monster. They both can hear that Mama Bear was on her way to the house. The cubs in their costumes hid under the kitchen table. Mama Bear then walked inside. "Hello, I'm home," Mama Bear called. But there was no response. "Hello?" Mama called again, but there was still no answer. Then she could hear quiet giggling, and she knew that the cubs were around. "I guess I'm all alone in the house," she said, as Brother and Sister Bear then crawled out from under the table and surprised their mama. "Oh my, those are very scary costumes. I'm so scared I can't even put my groceries away." Mama Bear was teasing the cubs by pretending that she was scared of the costumes that Brother and Sister were wearing, but she knew it was them. "We'll do it for you, Mama," Sister replied as she and Brother got started on putting the groceries away. "And remember, don't touch the candy. Those are for the trick-or-treaters tonight," Mama Bear replied. After putting the groceries away, Brother and Sister got out a map that showed all the houses in Bear Country that they were going to visit on Halloween. They were in the living room when Mama Bear had found them, looking at a map, so she walked inside the living room. "What are you up to?" Mama Bear asked. "It's a trick-or-treat map," Brother explained. "We are figuring out what houses to visit tonight," Sister replied, as Brother and Sister were pointing out all the houses that they were planning on stopping when Mama Bear notices that the cubs missed Witter Jones's house. "It looks like you missed Witter Jones's house," Mama explained. "Oh, we did that on purpose," Brother replied. "You did?" Mama asked. "Why?" "Because she's a witch," Brother Bear said. "Oh, nonsense. Witter Jones is very sweet and kind-hearted. In fact, I saw her at the market today. She is planning on making a special treat for all the cubs in the neighborhood. When you both get home, I want to hear that you both paid Witter Jones a visit." Mama Bear then left the room. Brother and Sister Bear just stared at each other when they heard a quiet noise from the other room. It followed by a thump and then a loud crash. The cubs only saw that it was only Papa Bear dressed up just to try and scare his children. "Oh, Papa, it's you!" Sister Bear giggled. "It's only your old Papa Bear trying to give you guys a scare," he said while laughing. "We heard a thump and we wanted to make sure you were okay," Brother Bear replied. "I'll be okay. Well, cubs, Lizzie and Freddie should be here soon," Papa Bear said as he left the room. Sister and Brother Bear stared at each other again. "So, I guess we're going?" Sister Bear asked. "I guess so," Brother Bear replied. When the sun was setting, Lizzie Bruin and Cousin Fred came to the treehouse to meet up with Brother and Sister. When the sun was gone, sister walked outside. "Come on, Lizzie," she said as she walked outside. Then Lizzie followed outside after Sister Bear, who was a vampire for Halloween, followed by Cousin Fred, who was dressed up as a pirate, and Brother Bear was the last one out. Mama and Papa Bear were at the door, watching the cubs head out. "Remember, stay in the neighborhood," reminded Papa Bear. "And don't eat any treats until you get home," Mama Bear added. "And have fun," Papa Bear added. The cubs all waved goodbye. "We will," they all said, as they trick-or-treated down the road, and they had hit a lot of houses. They got a lot of candy that their sacks were nearly getting full. It was like they were carrying a lot of stuff. "We're getting a ton of candy, huh, Freddy?" Brother asked. "I know," replied Fred. His arms were getting sore and tired from carrying his candy bag. "My arms are getting tired. This is the best Halloween haul ever," Lizzie said, as all four of the cubs stopped when they were at the house of Witter Jones, not far away from their position. "Uh-oh, look where we are now," Fred pointed out. The cubs realized that they were at Witter Jones's house. "Witter Jones' house," Brother said. "Anyone see a witch flying on her broomstick?" Lizzie asked. Then all of a sudden, bushwhacking noises can be heard. At first they weren't sure who or what was making the noises. Then 3 big cubs jumped out from the bushes and yelled, "Boo!" The cubs jolted a bit. "Ha ha!" one of the big cubs said. It was only Too Tall and his no-good gang. "Well, what do we have here? Some little cubs trick-or-treating. Oh, look at all the spooky costumes. Look at that one, Too Tall. That's the scariest ballerina I've ever seen," said Smirk, as he was making fun of Sister Bear's costume. "And look, that's the scariest monster I've ever seen," Scuzz added. "Oh, wait a second, that's Brother." Too Tall and his gang laughed when they were teasing Brother and Sister Bear in front of their friends. "Ha ha, very funny," Brother said, not liking what Too Tall and his gang was up to next. Then Brother made fun of his gang, to which Sister, Lizzie, and Fred laughed. "So are you guys trick-or-treating?" Brother asked Too Tall and his gang. "No way," Too Tall replied. "We are here to have some real Halloween fun. We're going to put the trick back into trick-or-treating," Scuzz added. "And we're starting off by decorating Witter Jones' house with some of this," Too Tall said, showing a roll of toilet paper. "Aren't you guys scared?" Lizzie asked. "No way," Scuzz replied. "We're not scared of anything." "Before you make her mad, can we go and get her candy first?" Brother asked. Then Too Tall had an idea. "Tell you what, we'll knock on the door first. You know, just to make sure it's okay for you guys," Too Tall said. "We're going in there?" Freddie asked in confusion. "Are you serious?" Lizzie asked. "Well, Mama told us that Witter Jones is nice," Brother explained. "She has special treats for us," Sister added. As Too Tall and his gang started to walk away, a scream came out of nowhere, and stepped in front of Too Tall and his gang was a girl with gray skin, long claws, and blonde hair, wearing red clothes, and started to chase after them. They ran away to Witter Jones's as Witter Jones's house's door opened. "It's Witch Jones!" Lizzie shouted. "Let's get out of here!" Sister shouted. All the cubs tried to run, but all 3 of them were captured. Brother was the only one besides Too Tall and his gang that gotten away from Witter Jones. He walked back to the house to look around, hoping that his sister and his friends were okay. "Sister, Lizzie, Freddie, anyone?" Brother called, but there was no answer. Brother could see the open window before the cubs he saw screaming with Witter Jones inside. "So nice of you to be here, my pretties. Now don't go anywhere. I'll be back with my little friends," the Wicked Witch voice said, and Brother knew it was Witter Jones. "She really is a witch." Brother had to act fast if he was going to want to save his friends from danger. "I have to rescue them." Brother Bear ran towards the window and climbed inside. Once he was inside, Sister and Lizzie were scared that they all looked like they were about to cry. "Hurry, we can escape through the window," Brother said when a hooded man growled and blocked his path. Then there was a blonde girl with claws that appeared along with a smoking zombie with a long tongue that appeared, and a big fat zombie with Witter Jones. Now I need is my big guy. Tank! She called loudly. In a cave in the forest, a huge zombie was awoken by the call of his owner. He roared and started to run through bear country. He started to knock down trees in the forest area where he was hidden in the cave, causing some of the trees to catch on fire. No one really knows how that would happen, but it definitely seemed like something must have started the fire. Then he started to attack the quiet areas of bear country by throwing rubbles of road at the houses, causing fire and damage. He also started to push and shove cars and bears that got in his way. Some of the cars exploded, some got caught on fire. The bears were all screaming and running away in terror as a huge zombie started to charge through bear country. The bears that were in his way ran for their life. He injured some of them along the way and even killed very few of them. Soon he got to Witter Jones's house by smashing the door down. "I'm here, Witch Jones," the big zombie said. "That's a tank?" Brother asked. "Let's go to the underworld here and see if anyone gets those cubs back," Witter Jones said smirkingly, as she along with her zombie friends took 4 cubs and they charged down the basement. Meanwhile, back at the treehouse where the bear family had lived, Mama was watching TV while Papa was handing out candy to the trick-or-treaters at the door. "Something is not right, Papa. I just know it," Mama Bear said, as Papa sat down with Mama on the couch. "Relax, Mama. I am sure the cubs are doing fine," Papa Bear replied by patting Mama's back. "I understand you mean, Papa. Like I am worried about brother and sister, along with Fred and Lizzie. Mrs. Bruin called and was wondering if Lizzie was back yet." Mama Bear was so worried. "I'm sure they're on their way back now. Why don't we just watch some TV?" Papa suggested as the news channel came on. "We have breaking news on bear country. We have been under attack not far from Crooked Lane, which is an unknown creature that has attacked the forest and the houses of bear country. Forest fires have been happening since it's all started. Houses were on fire, cars were on fire, some exploded and some bears were attacked. Most of them made it out okay, although some of them were injured enough that they needed to head for the hospital for treatment. Very few of them were killed, however. We have no idea who or what this creature is, but the streets near Crooked Lane are closed until the damage is clear, as well as the police investigation. Please stay tuned for more details." Mama and Papa were shocked and scared. "Oh my, the cubs must be somewhere when it happened." Mama was worried. "I have the same feeling too, my dear. I think we better go down near Witter Jones' house and pick the cubs up." "I sure hope they're okay," Papa Bear said, as he and Mama walked outside and got in the car as they drove in the search for the cubs, who they didn't even know that they were captured. Mama and Papa Bear were driving down the road when the police cars up ahead, near where Crooked Lane was, and the road was closed. "Oh dear, the road is closed due to what happened and what we have heard on the news. Is there another way to get to Witter Jones' house?" Mama asked. "There is a shortcut to her house. It's the back road that will take us there. But since that road hasn't been paved or used in a long time, there probably will be potholes," Papa Bear said, as he and Mama took the car and went through the shortcut. Papa went as slow as he could over the potholes to avoid getting a flat tire. Then, when he was at Witter Jones's house, 2 of the bears got out. "I'm glad we're here." Mama and Papa got out of their car and looked at the front of Witter Jones's house. "I really hope that thing didn't hurt the cubs," Mama said in worry, as she and Papa walked inside. He soon saw a large hole that was created that was supposed to be Witter Jones's cellar. "Mama, I found it, a doorway to the cave-like style to the cellar," he said. Mama looked at it. "The cubs must be down there," Mama Bear said. "Maybe we could get the police too." "Now, Mama, if we do get the police involved in this case, they may never find them, so it's up to us to find them. We'll go down and find them." Papa and Mama both walked down to the cellar to find themselves in a cave. "This cave must lead us somewhere," Papa Bear said, as he and Mama walked down the cave, wondering where it will lead them to. Sister, brother, Lizzie, Freddie, Mama called, but no one replied. Papa saw a really old-looking bridge. Now, careful while going over this bridge. It looks really old-looking. Papa and Mama Bear walked over the bridge. I sure hope the cubs are okay. Then Mama and Papa can soon see a light at the end of the cave. There's a light. We must be getting close, Mama Bear said as she and Papa got close to the light. That they were in a city, a place that they have never seen before. Not that they've seen it up in bear country, but this was different. Are you daydreaming or is this real? Papa Bear asked in shock. We've been living above the entire world and no one even knew it, Mama Bear said, looking around. The scene was dark and gray, raining, but it was also nighttime. Now we have to get down there and see if we could find the cubs. Maybe someone we might run into can help us. At least find out where the cubs are, Papa said. Then he and Mama were walking down a path that led them to the city areas. Meanwhile, there were voices in the city, but they couldn't really tell as if it was paranormal or not. When Mama and Papa finally got inside the city, more further into one of the alleyways, it is very quiet, Mama said. I sure hope we could find someone. Maybe he or she can help us, Papa said. Then, and Mama was hearing voices coming down from the alleyway. I hear voices in the alleyway. We should maybe get out of here, in case if they're not nice people, Mama suggested, as she and Papa went into a room. They left the door open only by a crack just to see what was going on. There were a new species that they've never discovered before. 4 humans. There was a biker guy, a businessman, a veteran, and a college student girl. They were all walking down the alleyway with guns. Maybe they can help us look for the cubs. And if that's the case, I hope they can, Papa Bear said. Hold up, the old man said, who was a veteran. He looked at the rotting corpses of the zombies. Are you sure I don't hear anyone else behind us? The business guy asked, although he is the manager of a store. There might be someone. I was just hearing them. Then there was crying from a door to the college student girl stared at. Somebody must be still alive. She, along with the veteran, walked inside the room slowly. Hello? Hello? She called. We can help. She was cut off when the lightning shined to show the blonde-haired infected girl. Lights off! The veteran said when the attack of the zombies were going, so all 4 humans stayed together to fight them. They're so skilled, Mama said. And real quick, Papa added. The college student then grabbed out a pipe bomb and was about to throw it at the incoming horde of zombies. Fire in the hole! She shouted as she threw the pipe bomb towards the zombies. Then Papa Bear saw Witter Jones as a witch flying away. Hey, Witter Jones! Papa and Mama both ran out to grab their attention. Come back with the cubs! Mama shouted. If you want them back, Mama and Papa Bear, you'll have to play my game to get them. Witter Jones flew away as a map was soon dropped on the ground. It's a map, Papa said. Looking for the map, it was a game that they were in. And those red circles are where we have to go to find the cubs. And it looks like there are 4 circles. So that means Witter Jones has placed the cubs in 4 different locations. We'll definitely need some help. Papa and Mama looked to see the 4 survivors along with having their guns out. A horde of zombies were coming near their way. Yike! Papa Bear screamed as he and Mama were running away from the horde of zombies. The survivors followed them. Papa and Mama climbed on the ladder in order to get to the rooftop of a hotel. The college student girl got on top too, started to shoot at the zombies so her friends could make it up to safety on the roof. Go, I'll hold them off, she said. The tank was approaching the survivors, and they all had to get away. The ladder was about to break off. The college student jumped just to get on the roof. She was lucky that the biker guy had grabbed her hand, and the manager helped her up on the roof. We made it! I can't believe we made it! The manager said, as Mama and Papa showed themselves to the survivor group. They were shocked. Who are you two supposed to be? The veteran said, holding his gun pointing at Mama and Papa Bear. Look, we don't want any trouble. But our cubs are in need of help, Mama Bear started to say. As a college student made the veteran put his gun down by giving him a stern look on her face. The veteran did as he was told. He didn't even want to shoot anybody, even a mom of kids. But at the same time though, since it was a zombie apocalypse, who can you really trust anymore? A witch had 5 creature friends and they took her cubs away along with 2 other cubs. She's telling the truth, Bill. We can't turn them down if it's missing children, the college student said. How could we trust them, Zoe? You can't trust people anymore now these days, Bill replied. It won't hurt to give it a shot. They need our help and we need to make sure they're not a threat, the biker guy said. Zoe had her gun pointed down on the ground. Are you a threat? Are you sure this isn't some trick? Zoe growled. Honestly, we're both not a threat. Plus, we're not even tricking you, Papa Bear said. But why don't you tell us who you guys are? I'm Bill. This is the college student's name is Zoe. That's Francis, the biker dude. And that manager man is Lewis, the veteran said. Now you know our names and on who we are. Why don't you tell us who you guys are? Well, I'm Mama Bear, and this is my husband Papa Bear. Our cubs are missing, and we really need help, Mama Bear pleaded. Well, we can help you with that, Lewis said. But Bill wasn't so sure if the group should still trust them. Bill, agree that you will help them. Whatever you like it or not, we're helping this couple, even if they have kids. You gotta have at least a soft spot for kids. Zoe's got a soft spot for kids, even though she's just turned 18 not that long ago. I know you're an old guy, but you gotta at least have a heart for kids. Yeah, Francis said. Even though I have a soft spot for kids, hell, before the outbreak went down, I've had a soft spot for kids in my neighborhood, Francis added. Oh, I guess it's worth a shot. Fine, Bill grumbled quietly. We'll get those cubs back. Do you know what they look like? Francis asked, as Mama showed the survivors a group photo of brother, sister, Lizzie, and Freddie on the photo. They seemed so happy. I wish we were all happy if it wasn't for the infection. Zoe sighed. Okay, we'll help. So what or who captured them? A friend of mine. Well, I'm not really so sure if she's a friend now or not, but she kidnapped 2 of my cubs, along with 2 of their friends, Mama Bear said. Okay, we get that. But you said a witch took them? Who is this witch anyway? Bill asked. It was my friend. Her name was Woodard Jones, and she had 5 friends with her. One of them is a huge creature, Mama Bear continued, and he was at Bear Country, which was the world above us. He had destroyed some houses, killed and even injured some bears, along with causing a few forest fires. Oh my God. I can't imagine having to go through like that, even for a second. That big creature was a tank. Then there was a smoker who was a zombie that was smoky. He had a long tongue. The fat zombie is called a boomer, and he will puke on anyone in sight. Then there's the hooded zombie, which is a hunter, and he will pounce on anyone in his way. And there is a crying blonde girl with long claws. That is a witch. We'll get the cubs back. Don't worry, Zoe said, explaining the fact that who the zombies were that helped Winter Jones capture the cubs, also explaining what their names really are. The 4 survivors, along with Mama and Papa, walked down to get from the hotel. They walked in through rooms killing the zombies while protecting the bear couple. I sure hope the cubs are okay, Mama said, as Francis opened the exit door of the hotel and looked around. There was nothing in sight. The coast is clear, Francis said. Move out, people, Bill said, as everyone walked out of the hotel. Mama Bear was walking with Zoe. How did you survive this far? Mama Bear asked a college student. Well, I wasn't going to college when the infection started. I was even still in college at the time, Zoe replied, as she shot a few zombies that she saw that didn't notice the group yet. And while I was struggling to survive on my own, I met up with Bill. He saved me from one of the infected that was attacking me. Then we met Francis and Louis. We've been kicking ass together since we started to try to survive in this undead land. That is amazing, Zoe. Did you have any friends before the outbreak? Mama asked. Yeah, but since the infection started, I had no one to talk to except for those guys. They know what to do. Zoe then spotted the safe house, not far away from the alleyway. There is a safe house ahead, she called out. I knew we'd make it, Louis said as Papa laughed. He liked Louis's humor. You sure have a good sense of humor. Where have you been working before the infection? Papa asked Louis. I was an assistant manager at a store before the infection started, and I was almost dead if Bill, that veteran guy, didn't save me. Louis started to tell the story to Papa Bear. Tell me more about your story. I would like to know. Well, it was around closing time when I was helping my manager close up the store. I was in the back locking up the staff room for the night, when all of a sudden I was in the bathroom washing my hands after they're doing my business. My manager started screaming. I ran to the front of the store, seeing my manager covered in blood. He told me something, but I couldn't understand him because he died choking in his own blood. Then I got up and saw zombies trying to break through the store. I was about to face my fate when Bill opened fire from the back door and saved me. And that is how I met Zoe and Francis, Louis added, as Papa was amazed at Louis's story. When the outbreak happened, once the survivors were inside the safe house, Papa pulled out the map. What is this? Bill asked. It's a map, replied Mama. Witter Jones somehow dropped this map and it has 4 circles on them. I am sure though what those red circles are signs that she has a plan on where the cubs should go. Well, this map will help us. If we stick to the map, everything will turn out fine, Zoe said. Then she saw something on the shelf. I see something, she said. Zoe then looked to see a bag full of Halloween candy. Cool bag of Halloween candy. It looks really good. Zoe then saw a pink bow inside, as she picked it up from the inside of the Halloween candy bag. There's a pink bow. Maybe this would have to be a clue on where the cubs are. Zoe showed the pink bow to the group. That's Sister's bow you found, Zoe. So that something tells me that Sister Bear must be here somewhere, Mama Bear said. All right, let's move out, Bill said. The survivors along with Mama and Papa were at the subway station. It was dead quiet. Nothing but zombies. All of a sudden there was a coughing sound. I hear a smoker. He must be close by. Well, there's no such thing as a smoker, and you will never know where he is and where he isn't when he isn't. Papa Bear went too far ahead, then Mama and the other survivors couldn't see him. Papa, come back! Louis called. Then Papa Bear let out a scream. The survivors and Mama ran towards where Papa's scream had come from. Papa was being attacked and pulled by the smoker. Smoker! Louis shouted as the survivors were shooting at the smoker. Finally, the last bullet killed the smoker, and he let out a smoke cloud. Papa was free. Papa, you scared us, Mama said. Sorry for running off like that, Mama. I wasn't paying any attention. Papa giggled, but Mama wasn't happy. You could have been killed, Francis replied. That is very dangerous, Papa Bear. If you were to ever run off like that again and we're not around to protect you, again, you could die, Bill said. Bill is right. We have to stick together as a group, Zoe added, crossing her arms. Just don't ever do that again. All right, Papa said, as the group kept going through the subway tunnel until they found an exit. They walked through the station near the subway station, and soon they were getting close to the way out. Is anyone here? Papa asked, as he along with the rest of the group were near the pawn shop. How come you guys are not zombies? Mama asked. We're immune to the infection. I don't know why and how, but we are, and it's surprising, Zoe replied. Then she saw a witch in the alleyway, crying not far from the pawn shop. There's a witch in the alleyway. Turn off your lights, she said, turning off the lights on her gun. Bill, Louis, and Francis did the same thing. That is very lucky of you guys. I sure hope the cubs are okay. Well, we are worried, Mama Bear said. Then all of a sudden there was a laugh that sounded like a wicked witch. They looked up to see Witter Jones on her broomstick, and she wasn't far from the survivors and Mama and Papa. If you're worried about the cubs badly, Why not you 4 humans leave these bears alone? I'll let you off with a warning or I'll stuff a mattress with you. Woodard Jones growled. If you want sister back, come to the No Mercy Hospital for her, Woodard Jones said as she looked at the veteran guy. Say, Bill, wanna play ball? Woodard Jones then threw the fireball at Bill as the survivors, Mama and Papa, ran out of the way before the fireball could hit them. Then Woodard Jones was gone, and Zoe looked up after being jumped to the other side just to avoid being hit by the fireball. No Mercy Hospital? It's way over there. How will we ever get there? Mama asked. We'll take what is called a shortcut. I have been there with a couple of my friends before the infection, Lewis said, as a hunter pounced on Mama Bear. Lewis started to shoot at the hunter as Zoe pushed the hunter off of Mama Bear. Are you okay? Zoe asked. I'm fine, just startled and scared, Mama said, as she was able to stay strong and keep herself from losing her fear and crying about it. Thanks, Zoe. Inside the pawn shop, we have to get the cubs back, Papa replied, as he and Mama, along with a group of human survivors, ran inside the safe room inside the pawn shop. Once inside the safe room inside the pawn shop, Zoe looked around. No Mercy Hospital is not far. We'll just have to take Lewis's sewer shortcut and we'll be there in no time, Zoe said, as she opens the exit to the safe room. Sister Bear will be okay, Mama, and if Woodard Jones hurts her, then I'll be the one to crush that bitch. Thanks for agreeing for all of you guys to help, Mama said. I do wish I could make you guys something as a repayment. You really don't owe or have to do anything, Mama. We're doing you and Papa Bear a favor, Zoe replied. Then Mama remembered that she had made a quilt while the survivors were asleep. I made you something while you guys were asleep. I'll go get it, Mama Bear said. Ran back to the safe room from the pawn shop. Wonder what she made, Bill asked. Mama Bear then came out with a quilt. I made it for you all, she said. The survivors were surprised. That's all of us on it. I wonder how she could do that and how would she do it all in one night, Zoe wondered in surprise. It's got all of us in it. You do look cool, guys. The boys took a look at the quilt that Mama had made and liked it. You can use it whenever you guys are cold, said Mama. I do look old as shit in it, Bill said, but I do look great. She sure did a great job. Look at you, Lewis. She even got your tie the right color, Francis pointed out. You look cool. She did your tattoos really good, Francis, Lewis replied. The group then went for the burger tank place. When they got onto the lift of the roof of the building they got to, Woodard Jones was watching the group from her crystal ball. So, you won't take my warning, eh? Well, here is payback. Woodard Jones used her magic, and the survivors, along with Mama and Papa, were walking down the sewers on the stairs. Zoe then slipped on ice, and as she slips down the stairs, along with Lewis, Francis, Bill, Mama, and Papa. Who put ice on the stairs? Lewis asked. It must be that Woodard Jones bitch. I knew it, Zoe replied. Then everyone crashed when they got to the bottom of the stairs, where the ice slide was over. Is everyone all right? Mama Bear asked. I'm fine, Papa said, getting up. We're all okay. We have been through worse, Bill said. But Zoe was okay, but she still wasn't happy. I am fine, thank you for asking me, Mama. But I want to know who is fucking around with us. Us, Zoe asked. Unless that Woodard Jones bitch who is trying to fuck around. Of course, it didn't make sense what I'm saying because I said I knew it was her just seconds ago. Well, we better get the cubs back as soon as we can, Mama Bear said, as the manhole was already opened up and Papa spotted it. A manhole. We can get to the shortcut through there, Papa said. The group crawled through the manhole to the sewers. When they walked down the sewers, which no one liked going through since it smelled bad, soon Zoe and the others found a ladder, which had an opening at the top of the ladder. It must be a sign that we're getting close to the hospital, Bill said. Let's see if there's anyone up there, Zoe replied. She climbed up the ladder, and as the rest of the group followed, they were at the front of the hospital. I think someone's coming. Zoe and her friends, along with Mama and Papa, got to the corner where no one could see them. Woodard Jones and her zombie friends that were near the front of the hospital of No Mercy. Who is that? Frances whispered in question. Zoe pulled out her binoculars just to see what was going on. It's Witter Jones, Frances, Bill replied. It is Witter Jones, but what is she doing? Zoe listened to see a tank that handed Sister Bear in her ballerina costume by Witter Jones. Now take her to the rooftop of this hospital. We'll see how these survivors can make it there, Witter Jones said, as a tank that started talking to her as a Smoker and Hunter joined in. Are you sure it is Witter Jones? Bill asked. Zoe then handed him her binoculars so he could have a look. Look at that witch costume. Is that Witter Jones bitch, Zoe replied, as Bill looked for the binoculars to see Witter Jones talking to the tank, Hunter, and Smoker. So that is who she is. Well, she's a mean, wicked old bitch, that's for sure. Bill then handed Lewis the binoculars so he could have a closer look as well. Was that Sister Bear in her ballerina costume? Bill asked Zoe. Yes, it was, and she looked very scared. I would be if I was her, Zoe replied. Lewis could see Witter Jones, and he didn't like what she was doing. Man, she is not cool. She can't kidnap the cubs. It's like someone walking towards your children or even luring them to somewhere, taking them away. We have to stop her, Lewis said. Can I have a turn now? Frances asked. Sure, Frances. You can have a closer look. Lewis handed Frances the binoculars, and he saw what was going on. I hate Witter Jones now. She is a total bitch, Frances said. The Witter Jones looked and had spotted the group. Tank, attack them, Witter Jones said. Hunter, Smoker, take Sister to the rooftop of the hospital. I'll take care of the survivors, including Mama and Papa, later. Witter Jones had gone on her broomstick, and she flew away from the scene. Tank, Lewis shouted, followed by Bill, Frances, and Zoe with shouts of saying tank. What is that? Papa Bear asked. It's a tank. You and Mama go to the safe area in the safe room, Bill said, as the tank punched the car, knocking down Bill, Frances, and Lewis. Except for Zoe, who was able to dodge the car, she was gunning down the tank, having the tank running towards her, and not the boys to save her. After the last few bullets hit the tank, he fell to the ground dead. Zoe breathed heavily as she sees Bill, Lewis, and Frances on the ground from being knocked down by the tank pushing the car towards them. Zoe had helped her friends up, and as the guys slowly made it to the safe room inside the hospital. Are you okay? Mama Bear asked. A tank attacked the boys and knocking them down. They needed to be healed. Zoe healed Bill first, then Frances, and then Lewis. They'll be fine. With some rest, they'll be good as new, even if they have healed themselves, Zoe said. I was worried, Mama said. I can tell you have a worried look on your face, Zoe replied. Sister Bear has to be on this rooftop. I just hope she's going to be okay, Papa Bear said.